All right, welcome back, everyone. It's time for another deep dive, and this time we're talking about Jannik Sinner's Australian Open victory.
He really was something special.
Now,
Uh,
I know some of you might be thinking, oh, come on, another tennis tournament recap,
I get it.
but trust me on this one. This is different.
Totally.
We're not just talking about another tournament win. This is something bigger.
It really is.
We're talking about a potential dynasty in the making, and we're going to break down why this win is so significant.
What's really interesting about this win is it's not just about Sinner's talent, and he's got buckets of it.
Yeah.
But it's how he dismantled Zverev in that final.
Okay, so let's set the stage here. We've got Sinner the young gun at 23, already ranked #1 in the world, going up against Alexander Zverev,
He's a seasoned pro.
who's been chasing that elusive Grand Slam title for I don't even know how long.
It felt like a real clash of styles, and generations. You had Zverev known for his big serve, that power, and then you have Sinner, who's got this all-court mastery, especially with that backhand.
Yeah. Oh, man. That backhand is a thing of beauty, and he just dominated. I mean, straight sets victory. I was watching the final, and honestly, it felt like Zverev was just playing catch-up the entire time.
Well, Sinner's game plan was just brilliant. I mean, he used that backhand, not just as a weapon, but as a tactical tool.
Yeah.
He was constantly pushing Zverev deep behind the baseline. Then, bam, a sudden change of direction, cross-court angle. And Zverev just couldn't handle it.
You know, for anyone who super familiar with all the tennis terms, the baseline is that line at the back of the court. And controlling that area is key to dictating the game.
Absolutely.
So Sinner was basically like a puppet master, making Zverev dance to his tune.
Exactly. He was mixing up the pace, the spin. He'd hit this heavy topspin, push Zverev back, and then follow it up with a flat piercing shot. Down the line, Zverev had no idea what hit him.
You could just see the frustration building on Zverev's face.
Oh, yeah. As the match went on, there was this one moment in the second set, Zverev just blasted this incredible ace.
For those listening, an ace is a serve that's so good that your opponent can't even touch it. And you could see this flicker of hope in Zverev's eyes. But Sinner, being Sinner, totally unfazed, came back with some clutch serves of his own, winning those crucial points.
That's what I love about Sinner. It's not just the physical game. The mental game is just as strong.
Yeah, even when Zverev had those little bursts of power, Sinner never lost his cool.
He stayed so calm, almost serene. Even in that tiebreaker, in the second set,
Oh, man, electric.
both players just trading points, back and forth, the tension so thick you could cut it with a knife. But Sinner's mental toughness, it just shone through.
I mean, to win a Grand Slam final in straight sets, it's a statement. But
Right.
there's another layer to this that makes it even more remarkable.
Oh, yeah, this isn't just Sinner's third Grand Slam title. This makes him the first player in a decade to defend the Australian Open title. I mean,
Wow.
we're talking rarefied air here. Think about the legends who have played on that court. To achieve that at 23, it's phenomenal.
And what really struck me was his post-match interview. He said, and I'm paraphrasing here, that this win was a dream come true.
Wow.
Now for a guy who is at the top of his game, to still have that hunger, that sense of wonder.
It's really something. To me, it reveals a lot about Sinner's mindset. He's achieved what most players can only dream of. Yet he remains grounded, humble. It's a potent combination. He's got the talent, the work ethic, and this burning desire to keep pushing his limits.
Now let's talk about Zverev for a second. It was a tough loss for him, but he handled it with so much grace, even praising Sinner in his post-match comments.
His sportsmanship was commendable. I mean, it's got to be gut-wrenching to come so close to that Grand Slam glory and fall short.
It really makes you wonder, where does Zverev go from here?
That's the question, isn't it? Does this fuel him to come back stronger, or does it chip away at his confidence? This only time will tell.
It's a pivotal moment in his career, for sure.
But what's fascinating is how this win for Sinner fits into the bigger picture.
Okay, now we're getting to the good stuff. You mentioned generational shifts earlier. Let's dive into that.
We've had this incredible era in men's tennis, dominated by the likes of Federer, Nadal, Djokovic. But as those titans start to wind down their careers, there's a vacuum at the top.
And Sinner is right there, ready to fill that void. And he's not just winning, he's dominating. The prize money, the ranking points, it all points to a new era.
He's walking away with 3.5 million Australian dollars and 2,000 ranking points, solidifying that #1 ranking.
But the question is this truly the dawn of the Sinner era? Can he maintain this level of dominance for years to come?
I mean, the talent pool in men's tennis is insane right now. So many young players. hungry to challenge him.
That's what makes it all so exciting. We're witnessing the birth of a new era. And it's anyone's guess who will emerge as the defining player of this generation. But Sinner has certainly made a powerful statement with this Australian Open win.
He's thrown down the gauntlet. Let's see how the rest of the field responds. You know, it's moments like these that remind us why we love sports. You've got incredible talent on display, the drama of a Grand Slam final, and a young champion making history.
And you know me, I love getting into the nitty-gritty, dissecting what makes a champion tick. So let's break down some of the key elements that contributed to Sinner's victory. It wasn't just luck or raw talent. There was real strategic brilliance to his game. What were some of the things that stood out to you?
Well, first and foremost, his serve was just a weapon throughout the entire tournament. I'm not just talking about power, although he's got plenty of that. It was the precision, the variety. That really impressed me. He was painting the lines, hitting his spots with pinpoint accuracy.
Yeah, it felt like he could just put the ball wherever he wanted, whenever he wanted. It made it so tough for his opponents to get a good read on his serve.
Exactly. And he wasn't afraid to mix it up. One serve would be this blistering flat serve down the tee. The next would be this wicked slice serve out wide. He kept his opponents guessing, and that's crucial in high-pressure situations.
Okay, so the serve was on fire. Well, what about his ground strokes? We all know about that lethal backhand. But did you notice anything else about his game from the back of the court?
His backhand is definitely a thing of beauty, but I was really impressed by the improvements he's made to his forehand. In the past, it might have been considered a slight weakness, but in this tournament, it was a major asset. He was hitting winners from both sides.
Yeah.
And that really takes your game to another level.
You know, it's so exciting to see a young player like Sinner constantly evolving, adding new dimensions to his game. It makes you wonder, what's next for him?
That's the beauty of it. He's got this incredible foundation, but he's still so young. There's so much room for growth. And it's not just about physical skills. It's the mental aspect of the game. That really sets him apart.
You mentioned his composure earlier, that almost zen-like focus he brings to the court. It's amazing how he can stay so calm under pressure. You never see him get rattled, even when things aren't going his way.
That was so evident in the final against Zverev. When Zverev started to mount a comeback, in that second set, you could feel the tension building. But Sinner never panicked. He just stuck to his game plan, trusted his abilities, and ultimately prevailed.
I remember that one rally in the second set. They must have traded 20 shots back and forth, both players hitting these incredible angles, pushing each other to the limit. I was exhausted just watching it. But Sinner just kept his cool. And eventually Zverev cracked, hit a forehand long.
That's a perfect example of Sinner's mental toughness. He's got this ability to weather the storm, stay patient, wait for his opportunity. And when it comes, he seizes it with absolute conviction.
It's like he's playing chess out there, always thinking a few moves ahead, anticipating his opponent's reaction.
Precisely. It's that strategic awareness,
Yeah.
combined with his physical prowess, that makes him such a formidable opponent.
We've talked a lot about, his skills, his mental game. But there's another crucial element we haven't mentioned yet, his fitness.
Oh, yeah. The guy is an absolute machine. He can cover the court effortlessly, run down every ball, and still have energy left at the end of a grueling match.
His fitness is truly exceptional.
It's not just about running fast or hitting the ball hard. It's about the endurance, the stamina, the ability to maintain that intensity for hours on end. That's what allows him to wear down his opponents, both physically and mentally.
And it's not just the physical aspect of fitness either. It's about injury prevention, being able to compete at a high level consistently without getting sidelined. Sinner's been remarkably healthy throughout his career, and that's a testament to his dedication, his professionalism.
He's clearly putting in the work behind the scenes, taking care of his body. Understanding that longevity is just as important as talent in a sport like tennis.
It's like he's built for the long haul, and that's what makes me so excited about his potential. I mean, he's only 23, and he's already achieved so much. What can he accomplish in the next 5, 10, 15 years? It's mind-boggling.
It really is. And that's the beauty of sports, the possibility, the potential, the unknown.
With all this talk of potential and future greatness, there's also the flip side, the challenges, the obstacles.
Right, that inevitably come with being at the top.
It's interesting. We often talk about a player's legacy in terms of trophies and titles. But I think with Sinner, it's going to be about something more.
Yeah, I think you're right. What's fascinating to me is he's already shaping his legacy, not just by the wins, but by his demeanor, His whole approach to the game, there's this quiet intensity about him, a respect for his opponents. That's really refreshing to see.
You're right, it's the how, not just the what.
Exactly. Even in victory, there's this humility about him, this understanding that tennis is bigger than just himself.
It speaks volumes about his maturity. And honestly, it's a welcome change from some of the, shall we say, more colorful personality.
You've seen in tennis over the
Right,
years.
we won't name any names. You make a good point. It's like he's carrying the torch for this new generation, but doing it with grace and humility. But let's get back to those challenges you mentioned. What are some of the specific obstacles Sinner might face as he tries to maintain this level of play?
Well, for one, the competition is fierce. I mean, you've got seasoned veterans like Zverev, who are still hungry for that Grand Slam title. And then you've got these other young guns, guys like Alcaraz, who are incredibly talented and determined to prove themselves.
It's a jungle out there on the ATP Tour. One slip-up, one injury, things can change drastically.
Absolutely. And then there's the mental aspect. Can he handle the pressure of being the hunted? You know, every opponent he faces now, they're going to be bringing their A game. They're coming for the world #1
I have a lot of weight to carry.
on those young shoulders.
But so far, he seems to thrive under pressure. Remember that match point. In the third set against Zverev,
Oh, yeah.
the crowd is going wild, the tension is palpable, but Sinner stays laser focused, delivers a perfect serve, and closes out the match.
That's the thing about Sinner. He's got this innate ability to rise to the occasion, but maintaining that over a long period, over a whole career, that's the real test. That's where his team, his coaches, his support system, they'll all be crucial.
Yeah, they'll need to keep him grounded, focused on the process, not just the results. It's about building a sustainable career, not just chasing short-term glory.
Exactly. And that's where Sinner's mindset will be key. Can he stay hungry, stay motivated, keep pushing his limits, even when he's already at the top?
It makes you think of that famous Michael Jordan quote, talent wins games, but teamwork and intelligence win championships. And Sinner's got the talent.
No doubt.
Yeah.
But it's that combination of hard work, strategic thinking,
Yeah.
and mental resilience. That's going to determine his ultimate legacy.
And that's what makes this whole journey so captivating. We're witnessing the rise of a potential legend. But the story is still being written. It's up to Sinner to decide how the next chapter unfolds.
So for all you tennis fans out there, keep your eyes on Jannik Sinner. He's rewriting the rules of the game. And this Australian Open victory, it's just the beginning.
Absolutely. Well, that's all the time we have for today. But as always, thanks for joining us on this deep dive. We'll be back soon with more insights and analysis from the world of sports. Until then, keep exploring, keep learning, and we'll see you next time.